What's going on, guys? It's Marco here from Marco's Tech Talk, and today what we're going to be doing is installing an SSD inside of the Mid-2010 Mac Mini. I did go ahead and buy a crucial 250GB SSD. Should definitely speed it up a little bit. And yeah, guys, so we're going to hop right into that. And also keep in mind, a little disclaimer here, is if you're going to follow what I'm doing, go ahead and do so at your own risk. Since I don't have the tool to actually move the logic board to the side, I don't even really know exactly what you're supposed to do, but apparently if you don't do that, there's a high chance you could break the logic board. It's a risk I'm willing to take because I do want to put an SSD in it. I don't want to buy extra tools for something I'm only going to do once. It's just the way I feel about it. So again, if you're going to follow along with what I'm doing, go ahead and make sure you remember that you're doing so at your own risk. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and install this SSD. Alright, so I looked into this a little bit now. Doesn't look like it's all that hard. I did go ahead and get the same SSD that I got for the MacBook Pro. It's just the 2.5-inch crucial 250GB SSD, so we're going to go ahead and put that in there. But first things first, we're going to have to take all this stuff apart and get to it. So it's a little complicated, but I don't think it's that bad. So the tools that I'm going to be using here are going to be a T6 and a T8 Torx. That's really it. And then, of course, one of these little like pry tool things. And then these are going to be the two screwdrivers I used to pull the logic board back. So we'll go ahead and tear this off. I mean, it was so hard for me to get off when I showed you guys how to change the RAM, so I don't know why it's so hard on this thing. The videos I watch, it looks so easy, you know, it's like, wow, it's quick. But not mine. It's like working on cars, man. It's like working on cars, you know, you get started with it, it's supposed to be something quick and easy, and then before you know it, you're 6 hours into fixing something else that broke along the way, you know, it's just the way it is. Alright, so we'll go ahead and actually, now that that's off, we'll just pull out the RAM just because I don't want to risk hurting it in any way, so I'll just move that aside right now, take this out, it's the new one. I'll put that over there. Same thing with the other stick of RAM, just make sure that's clear of everything, pull that out, and that's that. Alrighty, so now is when the fun begins. So we're going to use the T6 screwdriver, and we're going to pull the ones that hold the fan out. Gotta make sure I remember where everything goes. Oh wait, I just realized I missed one of these. My bad. Alright, this is when I'm going to grab the little spudger and try to pry this out. It's one of those things that I think I just need to use my fingers for. Alright, that's out. And I'll just place this in here. Now I believe you just pull this one out. And this should come out in some other way. I think you lift it up and out. There we go. I'll place this back there so I keep track of it. Alright, and now there's some dust here. It's kind of annoying. This looks like the CPU right here. Definitely looks like the CPU. I do see what appears to be like Intel looking CPU and GPUs. I believe that's an NVIDIA GPU though. So now we're going to go ahead and remove this the Wi-Fi antenna. We're going to take that out. This is going to require the use of a T8 now. We're going to swap out to that. This has some kind of like metal shaving in here. That's really bad. It's like a staple or something. My goodness. Who knows, maybe some little kid did that 10 years ago. Or 9 years ago when this thing was new. Alright. Glad I found that. See, that's why sometimes it's good to take apart computers and stuff you buy, because it's kind of like, you never know what could be lurking to break it later. Alright, so now I've run into a problem where the two T8 Torx screws, these ones right here, are being very difficult to remove, so I'm going to try to get a little more grip on the screwdriver by putting this towel on it. I'm not really sure if it's going to help me or hurt me, but it doesn't hurt to try it out. We'll just have to see what kind of happens here. And it helped me. I actually was able to break it loose, so that's good. Alright, so the hard drive was kind of stuck to it. This part you have to be kind of gentle with because the little wire that connects this to the motherboard is kind of there. And then you just take that off gently and then move that aside. Here's the hard drive. So far it wasn't too hard to get here, but it is kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit annoying. Alright, now we're going to try to remove a couple more things. I have to get these serial ATA cables out of here. So, try that out. We got one out. Now we got two out. Now this looks like a fun time here, trying to get these guys out of here. Alright, so I can't really find a good way to get these two connectors out yet. So what I'm going to just do is just take the logic board screws out and just try to slide it back and see if that gives me enough room to get these out without damaging anything. And just like before, I need some extra grip, so I'm going to grab my towel again. Alright, so we're getting there. We're almost done with this. Now I just got to remove a couple more screws here. Alright, it took me longer to find tools that fit than to actually do this. So I found these little, what are these called? I forget, Allen keys. I think one of them was like a 1/16 and the other one's kind of like messed up. The little kit I have here, I can't tell what size it is. But anyway, they just kind of like fall in, and then you just kind of push down and pull back at the same time. And then it's kind of difficult. I feel like if I had like actual screwdrivers, it'd be a lot easier because I don't have as much leverage. But yeah, that's kind of the idea here. There we go. So I'm gonna just pull these out now. Now I should be able to, in theory, slide this out a little more by hand, maybe not though. Should be enough though to get this out, I think. We're darn close. Just a little bit more I need. Alright, and that nightmare is out of there. So that's good. Now comes the next difficult part, which is actually doing this. This looks like it's going to be fun too now. So for some reason there's like this intricate wrap around this. I feel like it has something to do with the Wi-Fi antenna being in the same general area, but you know, not really too sure about that. So yeah, I guess we're going to just pull this tape off. Trying to figure this out without damaging anything. That's always the key here. Alright, at this point, this has become very intricate. It's a little bit more annoying than I expected it to be. So, with that being said, I'm just going to continue. And that's going to consist of me removing, much like the MacBook Pro, these two little Torx screws on the side of this. These are black though, so they're a little harder to see. And they're also extremely tight on mine. So at this point I've managed to get this black thing off the original hard drive and the SATA cable. So it's important to note though that there's going to be this little sensor. I didn't get this part on camera because I got a phone call unfortunately during that part, and I forgot to start recording it again. So yeah, this little sensor just sticks on to the other hard drive. It was kind of hard to get it off, but you have to put it in the same place, like relative to where it was on the other one. So I just put it, like this, like the SATA cable's on the left, and then that's on the left too. That's what I did. It just sticks right back on there. I didn't have a problem with it. So, as far as these two screws here, they like position it or something. So I cannot get these out. I'm starting to strip them actually. So that's pretty much a lost cause to me. This is an SSD anyway I'm putting in here. I'm not really too worried about movement. On top of that, this is a Mac Mini, not a MacBook. So like I'm not going to be bringing it around places. It's going to kind of sit and be done. So I'm not really too worried about this. That's kind of up to you. Do this at your own risk. I'm just going to forego taking these out. It's just way too much trouble in my opinion for the situation at hand. I don't really care. So yeah, that's pretty much done then with as far as that goes. So now I just have to put this on again after I get the SATA cable on. Almost forgot that would have been a great time. Alright, so I got this on again, and now I just have to put this back on one more time. And it went something like this. I kind of remember. I don't think it's too crucial. No pun intended. I don't think it's too crucial how it goes on, but I'm just gonna kind of just put it on there. All right, so it turned out that I actually had this on backwards, upside down. I did it the right way now. So I'm like I said, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in now. Hopefully without it all coming apart. I'm never taking this apart again, let me tell you guys. This was very annoying to do, so definitely want to avoid ever taking this apart again. Of course, you want to make sure you don't get any of your wires snagged in there, because that would be a bad time. Even worse of a time than you might have had so far up to this point. Now you're just going to take the logic board, I'll move this board in frame, and you just kind of snap it back into place. Like so, and that's back in. So now I'll just go ahead and reconnect some stuff. Like that. And then now that's all reconnected again. That's great. And now this can go back on. Alright, and then from here I'm going to go ahead and actually tighten all these other screws back down. Alright, after fighting with all these screws for a little while, I'm finally at the part with the cowl, I guess it's called here. I'm going to go ahead and just put that back in. Well, it's important to understand that the little screw actually goes back here, not up here. I did that first on accident. Don't do that. Do that one first, then you can put these ones in after you connect the fan cable. But now we're just going to go ahead and pop in the RAM. We're at that point now where we're all done. So I'm going to move this back aside. And then populate the lower DIMM slot first. Nice and secure. And that's installed now. And then the upper DIMM slot goes last, of course. And then make sure that's nice and secure as well. And then done. And then of course, to finish it all up, go ahead and put this back on. Alright, just put that on last and you're all good to go, guys. That's going to sum up the video. This was much harder than I expected. Much harder than I expected, I gotta be honest with you guys. Would I recommend doing this yourself if you're comfortable? I mean, I'm someone who does computer stuff all the time and works on cars, and this was annoying to me. Like, it's just very tedious because you have to be very careful and stuff like that. This is like, I was sweating, guys, the whole time. So, I know a lot of it was sped up, but There was just a lot of like kind of nothingness in there. There was a lot of it me like kind of playing around. So but I think like the main points of it are all shown. So that's really what counts in my opinion there. So guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Please go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, guys, thanks a lot.